betrayal cuts deep. Not because of the act itself, but because of who did it. A stranger hurting you? That's just life. Something you learn to expect from the world. People come and go, and not everyone will have good intentions. But a friend? A loved one? Someone you trusted, confided in, maybe even built a future with? That's different. That's personal. That's the kind of pain that doesn't just fade. It lingers, it haunts. It changes you. At first you replay everything in your head, like a movie stuck on loop, every moment, every word, every interaction, dissecting it all, looking for signs you might have missed. Was it always like this? Were they always capable of this? You think back to the moments they smiled at you, reassured you, promised they had your back. Were those lies? Or did something change? The uncertainty eats at you. You wonder if you were blind, or if they were just that good at pretending. Then the self-doubt sets in. Did I deserve this? That's the cruelest part of betrayal. It doesn't just hurt you, it makes you question yourself. It whispers in your ear, making you wonder if you were the problem all along. Maybe you should have seen it coming. Maybe you weren't good enough. Maybe this was your fault. But none of that is true. Betrayal is never about the one who was betrayed. It's about the one who chose to betray. Their actions reflect their character, their choices, their flaws, not yours. But knowing that doesn't make the pain go away. The hardest part isn't the betrayal itself, it's what comes after. The emptiness, the loss of trust, the feeling of standing in the wreckage of something you thought was real, only to realize it was an illusion. You start questioning not just them, but everyone. If they could do this, what's stopping someone else? You build walls, not because you want to, but because you feel like you have to. And yet, despite it all, you survive. Slowly, piece by piece, you rebuild. You remind yourself that betrayal is not a reflection of your worth, but of theirs. You learn to trust again, not blindly, not easily, but with wisdom. And one day you realize that the betrayal that once felt like it would break you has instead made you stronger. It taught you something valuable, not about them, but about yourself, about resilience, about self-worth, about the kind of love and loyalty you truly deserve. Then comes the anger, the raw, burning fury that churns in your chest, the disbelief, the how could they, the endless questions that have no satisfying answers. After all the trust, the loyalty, the moments shared, how could they throw it all away so easily? The feeling is overwhelming, almost suffocating. Your mind races with thoughts of confrontation, of making them see what they've done, of forcing them to feel the pain they so carelessly inflicted on you. You imagine calling them out, exposing their lies, shattering whatever illusion they've built for themselves. You want them to regret it. You want them to feel even an ounce of what you feel, and maybe, for a fleeting moment, revenge sounds sweet. The idea of giving them a taste of their own medicine, of making them hurt the way they made you hurt, is tempting. It feels like the only way to make things fair, to take back the power they stole from you. But here's the thing. Their betrayal is a reflection of them, not you. It's a mirror showing their choices, their character, their flaws. No matter how much pain they cause, no matter how deep the wound, seeking revenge won't change the past. It won't undo what's been done. And the truth is, they probably aren't worth the energy it takes to hate them. Anger is natural, but holding on to it only ties you to the very person who wronged you. The real victory isn't in revenge. It's in choosing not to let them have any more control over your emotions, your mind, or your future. The moment you let go, the moment you decide they no longer get a say in your happiness, that's when you truly win. Because at the end of the day, people like that don't deserve your anger. They don't deserve your energy. They don't even deserve your hate. They deserve to watch you move on, heal, and become stronger than ever without them. So what do? You don't deny the pain. You don't pretend it didn't happen or try to numb yourself to it. You accept it. You let yourself feel it, every ounce of it, because that's how healing begins. But you don't let it consume you. You don't let it turn you into someone bitter, someone closed off, someone afraid to trust again. Most importantly, you don't let it define you. Pain has a way of reshaping people. It can either break you or build you. And this is the moment you decide you won't let it turn you into them. You won't let their betrayal poison your heart. You won't let their actions change the goodness in you, because if you do, then they win. If you let the pain make you cold, if you start believing that no one can be trusted, that love is a weakness, that kindness is a mistake, then they take more from you than just the past. They take your future too, so instead you learn. You take the lesson without the bitterness. You see people for who they truly are, not just who you wish they were. You recognize the red flags you ignored before. You trust your instincts. You grow, not into someone hardened by betrayal, but into someone wiser because of it. And then you do what needs to be done. You cut them off, fully, completely, without hesitation, not to be petty, not to prove a point, but because you deserve better. Because real love, real friendship, real loyalty, those things don't require betrayal as a lesson. The right people won't make you question your worth. They won't force you to heal from wounds they created. Cutting them off isn't about revenge. It's about respect. It's self-respect. It's about protecting your peace. It's about protecting your peace. It's about choosing yourself finally, fully. Because at the end of the day, the best thing you can do isn't to hurt them back. It's to move on, to be happy, to build a life so full, so rich, so unshakable, that their absence feels like nothing more than a faded memory. At the end of the day, betrayal is just a forced lesson in loyalty, a painful, gut-wrenching way of showing you who was never truly meant to walk your path with you. It strips away illusions, revealing the truth in a way that words never could. No matter how much history you had, no matter how deeply you cared, betrayal forces you to see people for who they really are, not just who you hoped they were. And that realization hurts. Because sometimes the people we thought would stand beside us for life were only meant to be temporary. Sometimes the bonds we held on to the tightest were never as strong as we believed. And as painful as it is, that truth is a gift. It clears the way for those who are meant to be there, the ones who would never choose betrayal, who would never make you question your worth, who see your value without needing to be reminded. At first, the weight of betrayal feels unbearable. It feels like something was stolen from you. Trust, time, the version of yourself who once believed in them. But as time passes, as the pain begins to fade, you start to see it differently. You realize that losing them wasn't a loss at all. It was a blessing in disguise. Because what kind of life would you have had, holding on to someone who could so easily betray you? What kind of future could you have built with someone whose loyalty had an expiration date? Eventually, you reach a place where their absence no longer stings, where their name doesn't bring a lump to your throat, where their betrayal no longer feels like a wound but a lesson. And that's when you understand the truth that was there all along. You were always better off without them.